Hello and welcome to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. I'm Swebb.
And I'm Dad.
And we are the dad and daughter duo talking about all of our favorite sports moments in life. Dad, happy midway through the summer. What is going on? What have you been up to? Tell me everything.
What have I been up to? Swebb, I've been working, Swebb.
Yeah?
I'm not like you young people that, take time off and all this stuff. I'm always working, Swebb. You know that.
Well, that's good because someone's got to pay the bills.
Yeah,
But I
exactly.
like a little bit more balance. If you can't tell, I've been spending time on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell?
Yes, I can.
You haven't complimented my tan yet.
You look pretty crispy, Swebb.
I definitely am crispy, feeling like a piece of bacon, but feeling good, feeling relaxed, feeling well rested. I spent some time on the beach, a few weeks actually, and now we're back in the city. It's 95 degrees, and I'm sitting inside because I almost fainted in Central Park while I was running this morning.
Why are you running in this Why are you running in these
Well, it
temperatures,
was
Swebb?
80 something degrees this morning when I went for a run, but I'm trying to get out there, be fit as usual. And now I'm sitting inside. I had a smoothie, a nice cold smoothie for lunch. I'll probably have an Italian ice for dessert tonight after I have a cheeseburger.
Italian ice for dessert.
Yes, something cold and sweet. That's the name of the game.
Well, at least you got the cheeseburger part, right?
I got the cheeseburger. I even got some pickles. I went to the grocery store yesterday after church, picked up some dill pickle spears. So I'll have a little pickle with my burger. I have some lettuce. I'll make a little Caesar salad. It's like we're barbecuing, except I'm making it on the stovetop in my apartment in New York City.
Only one burger.
One cheeseburger.
You can't eat two.
I'm good. It's all about moderation here.
I don't know how to spell that word.
I don't need to. And if I have the cheeseburger and all the other stuff, then I can, have the Italian ice and be fine.
Gotcha.
RFK would be mad because there are a lot of food dyes in the Italian ice.
I was
But,
thinking about that when you started telling me you're going to have the Italian ice.
but there's just some things you can't let go of. It's like, what am I supposed to do? I've already changed my fruit snacks. Now I'm paying $30 for a bag of fruit snacks, healthy fruit snacks from Amazon. So I'm not having those as much. And then chocolate. I'm not having peanut M&Ms anymore. I'm not having Reese's peanut butter cups anymore. I got these. They're called Justin's chocolate. They're like healthy, no extra stuff peanut butter cups. Those are also expensive from Amazon. So you know what? I'm allowing myself to have an Italian ice. Or two or three. I have like
Or
10
two or
in the
three.
I have 10 in the freezer, but once they're done, they're done. This is to get me through the rest of the summer.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you do eat a lot of stuff with food dyes.
Yes, and I've cut back on that. So everything in moderation. But no more peanut M&Ms or any of that kind of stuff, which really is just not fun.
You'd be better off having a nice, thick, juicy steak. You know what I'm saying, Sweb? No
Well,
food dyes in that.
I'm gonna go with the cheeseburger and a little side salad. I might later this week because I went grocery shopping as I mentioned. I'm gonna do a little taco bowl. So I've got some white rice. I'm gonna heat it up with some lime juice. I'm going to so it's like a lime rice. I'm gonna do some chicken with chipotle seasoning type of things. I have some black beans, some corn, and I have an avocado. So I'm gonna do a nice little taco bowl for maybe 2 to 3 meals this week.
Hey, if you're real good at making that, you could probably start a little a taco stand out on the corner there and make some money, Sweb. You know what I'm saying?
I'm okay not selling stuff on the corner, and I'll leave that up to other people who are really passionate about it. So, what else has been going on this summer? What have you? It's been about a month since we last
Yeah,
chatted.
don't
Before we
remind me,
hop
Sweb.
into the sports, what else have you done?
Watching a lot of games, Sweb. Keeping up to date with everything.
So, you're sitting
NBA.
inside in front of the TV or the computer.
It's a lot cooler inside than it is outside, isn't it, Sweb?
Have you traveled?
Went up to New York. What, a month ago? 3 weeks ago. Um,
Have you gone swimming? Have you gone to
Oh,
the
I went down to
beach?
Florida a few weeks ago for. I did get in the pool one day down in Florida.
One day.
Hmm.
Okay,
I got in.
good. And did you float? Did you sink to the bottom?
I stood around and was talking to some other people there. I met
I
some other
can
guys that
picture
were
it
big.
well.
I met a guy from Indianapolis that was a big Colts fan. Another guy that was from New Jersey, but he was a Cowboy fan. Another guy was a Green Bay fan. So we had a little pre preseason NFL talk.
Okay, well, that's good. I could picture you chatting it up with strangers. I
I
know you
love
like to do that.
I love to
Good for
chat
you
it
for
up with
getting in the pool.
strangers.
Did you swim any laps?
No, I was talking to these guys for about an hour.
So, have you done any exercise in the past month?
Huh? When I go to the
Okay.
supermarket, I park and then I walk inside, and then I
Okay.
walk up and down every aisle. Swebb.
Okay. Once a week?
Well, I could go twice a week if you want me to.
If that's what it's going to take, then fine. So I've been on the beach, as I mentioned. No trips, no other trips planned. I am coming down to Charleston in a few weeks, but other
Oh,
than that, no other trips. Starting a new job in a week, so kind of taking it easy this week and getting myself together. Did a little summer clean out of the clothes. Um, we're gonna try and make sure the apartment's nice and tidy. Lots of things going on. More to come on the life updates at a later time. But let's hop into some of the sports. So you mentioned the NFL. We're not going to spend too much time on it because I don't really care, you know? Like, why care? Why care when you're a Jets fan? I have been watching Quarterback season 2 on Netflix, which is following Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins, and Jared Goff this season, and or it was filmed last season, but this is the season that that we're now watching it, and yeah, it must be nice to watch, to be a fan of some teams that have had some recent success, aren't have good quarterbacks, and Jared Goff, like watching Detroit be god awful to winning their division this past year, must be nice.
well, I got to tell you something, Swebb. Training camp started what, Monday or Tuesday, whatever day that was of last week. Whatever day the training camp was. First day they had
It started
practice,
last week.
and Justin Fields, the Jets quarterback, hurt his toe. But before it came out, and then he was carted off. He limped off the field. Then they put him on the cart, and they took him into the locker room. And I'm watching some of these podcasts, um, Jet podcasts, and these people sounded like, oh, the season's over, screaming and cursing, F this, F that. I don't know if I could take these Jet fans anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I can't stand this.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
so the guy injures. So it turns out, then he winds up in practice the next day. Somebody stepped on his foot. Okay, Uh, it's like they're thinking the worst. Like the guy died, and now we got to get another quarterback in here, and we got to see who's available. Who's available? Anybody that's available right now, you might as well get me.
is
I'm
no
available.
good.
You might as well get me. Okay, I'll work for a lot cheaper. I won't charge you $2 million to come in and get sacked.
Well, I don't even know why people are wasting their energy
Oh
getting that
man.
worked up. It's not like Justin Fields is Patrick
Well,
Mahomes.
they figured
So,
that's the quarterback. We're starting all over.
yeah,
It's
that's
fresh, new thing. But you know what? Stop complaining. These people complain about everything. There shouldn't
okay.
be high expectations this year with the Jets. They're trying to, when you build a house, you see an empty lot, and then they build a foundation. The new coach is building a foundation this year. Now you got Jet fans already worried about, oh, we're not going to make it to the playoffs.
We
Don't even.
probably aren't, but
Okay.
for me, I'm taking it day by
Oh
day.
man.
No need to get worked up listening to
Right.
podcasts and
S-
stupid Jets
Stop.
fans.
Stop.
Take it day by day.
Stop worrying about the playoffs. Let's build a foundation, please. And then we'll get the framers to come in and start framing the house. He just
Anyone
cleared the
worrying about the
lot.
playoffs needs to get a life
Right.
because they're just completely unrealistic. I'm hopeful. I'm taking it day by day. And when I mean day by day, I'm taking it week 1 is when the day will start. I'm not starting in training camp. I'm not even starting in preseason. Week 1. This is what I do every year. I watch the first game. I assess what's happening on the field. Either we win or we lose. Sometimes we lose. And I say, we are who we thought I was. Who we are who I thought they were. And then we go and we watch another game. We gather with friends in the city, watching football. The city is alive for football season, and we lose again, or we squeak out a win, but it's real ugly. And I say, I'm not sure if I can do another season of this, but I take it day by day, week by week. And by week 7 or 8, I'm usually coming home from church and I'm taking a nap at 1 p.m. as opposed to watching the whole game because sometimes it's better to just take a nap and wake up in the fourth quarter. So we will take it day by day. Take it from me, Jets fans. That's all you can do. It's not like you should not be getting this worked up about the Jets. Now, the Yankees were in the World Series last year. I give you the freedom to get as worked up as you want to be about what you're seeing on the baseball field. Let's talk Yankees
Let's talk.
because now they managed to squeak out a win against the Philadelphia Phillies on Sunday to salvage one win in that series. They're 5.5 games back. They're in second place in the AL East, 5.5 games back of the Toronto Blue Jays, and well, we're seeing a lot of what we've been seeing for the past couple months. Ugly, ugly play on the field. Now, the Yankees did make some moves leading up to the MLB trade deadline, and they've made a few moves, bringing in Ryan McMahon, third baseman from the Rockies, also getting a utility player and Ahmed Rosario from the Nationals. What are your thoughts on the Yankees, Dad?
Listen, I watch the games every night, Swebb. I'm glued to the TV set. They were doing fine until half their pitching staff got injured and got hurt. They started out the season without Cole. He was out for the year. Boom. Best pitcher in the league. Okay. Second best pitcher next to Scooble on the Tigers. Then Gil didn't pitch. Hasn't pitched yet. He got hurt in spring training, oblique muscle or strength, whatever it is, and he's been out. I think he has one more rehab start tonight or tomorrow night or Wednesday night, and then he'll be back in the rotation. But when these guys come off the disabled list after not pitching all this long, you don't know what you're going to get out of them.
And his rehab starts haven't been lights out in AAA.
Exactly. In double A, actually. Okay. And then one after another, relievers went down with injuries. Some have come back and not pitched that well. Some are still out. So what I think trade deadline is Thursday at 6 p.m. The Yankees will be trading. They already picked up two infielders that they needed. Um, and McMahon, he's a legitimate third baseman. Okay, and he won that game for them yesterday. Now they have to get two relievers and one starter. And when Heel comes back and Yarborough, so remember Yarborough was pitching great. He was pitching great in relief, and then they moved him into the rotation when they had some injuries, and he was pitching great. And then he gets hurt, and he's gone. And then Clark
Schmidt,
has
yeah.
Tommy John. He's gone. He started out the season on the disabled list, on the injured list. He came in, he started pitching well, and then he's gone. So they just miss. It's hard to win. And let me tell you something. They're not the only team with these injuries in the pitching staff. That's why this year you've seen so many teams go on long winning streaks and long losing streaks. The Dodgers went on a losing streak. Right now, the Detroit Tigers are in the middle of a losing streak. The Mets
Well,
went on a losing streak. Then the
it can
injured
be a
pitchers
little
come
bit of
back.
a
They start winning again.
it can be a little bit of a chain reaction. Your starters get hurt, then you have to rely on the bullpen a little bit more. Then when you start relying on the bullpen more, then they start to get hurt or they become ineffective because the Yankees bullpen has been abysmal over the past month. So these are things that it becomes a chain reaction when you don't have the depth and guys start to get hurt and you have to place people in positions that they haven't necessarily been in. I'm excited to see that we finally have a third baseman, Josh Chisholm playing second base, and the infield seems to be complete. We've been getting great starts from Max Fried and Carlos Rodon. If not for those two, the Yankees would be 15, 20 games under 500. Now you've got Aaron Judge, who's got elbow issues. Now he's on the injured list. Besides that, because those are things that you can't necessarily control, still seeing too many errors in the field, still seeing too many bonehead mistakes when they're bad. So, and when they have runners on base. So these are the things, as the Yankees stand right now, with the injuries, but also just with the way that they've been playing. If this was a healthy team and they were playing the way that they've been playing in terms of very sloppy, tons of errors leading to longer innings, leading to unearned runs, they're not a team that's going to compete for a World Series championship. Now, they are first in the wild card, and there's a lot of parity in Major League Baseball this year. Any team is beatable. But the Yankees, they're not a good team.
Well, I got a fix for that, Swebb.
What's your fix? Are you going to start taking guys out to the woodshed when they get thrown out, advancing from third to home? Or are you going to get a wooden ruler and start, hitting Anthony Volpe across the bottom side after his third error in a game? What's your fix?
My fix is this. Yankees play in Miami next weekend. This weekend coming up. I'm going down to Miami for all 3 games. The first 2 nights, I'm going to be near the bullpen. I'll talk to some of the relievers. I'm getting there early. I'm getting to the park early for batting practice and everything. I'm going to talk to some of the relievers. For the Sunday game, I'm going to be sitting close to the dugout. Okay, a little bit by
Tickets
the dugout.
must have been real cheap, huh? You got these good seats that you paid for.
Well, the tickets are a lot cheaper in Miami than they are at Yankee Stadium. So I'm sitting fairly close to the dugout. I'm going to be there early, and I'll talk to some of the boys before the game and give them a little pep talk.
Okay, so stay tuned, everybody. If the Yankees
and
end
I'll
up
take
going,
I'll take pictures and some video for you, Swebb. I'll be right on top of the action.
There's no doubt in my mind that there'll be a bunch of pictures that aren't, that focused. Maybe your finger's in the way of a few. We'll see what we can salvage to post on Instagram. But stay tuned, because if the Yankees end up winning all weekends, then maybe it was dad or mom, But I'm not so sure.
She'll be at the gift shop buying something.
I'm not so sure. So that sounds like a fun trip. Now the Mets are first in the NL East. They are, what are they? A game and a half up on the Phillies.
Right, and they're red hot now because some of their pitchers have come back, and now they stabilized their team. When they were losing, it was because they had like 4 pitchers on the disabled list. Okay, they started out the season fine when everybody was healthy. Then the pitchers start getting hurt. They start bringing up kids from the minors that can't handle the action. That's what happens. And the Dodgers have had the same. A lot of teams have had this problem. The Red Sox started out the season with a lot of pitchers on the disabled list. Now they're playing well because their pitchers have come back.
It's an interesting MLB season. The Mets this week, they're in San Diego at the start of the week. They're playing the Padres, then they'll come home and they'll host the San Francisco Giants. And the Yankees, as we mentioned, they're at home right now playing the Tampa Bay Rays at the beginning of the week, and then they'll go to Miami to play the Marlins. So the good thing for the Yankees is their schedule is not that tough in this last 2 months of the season. The tough thing is they've got a lot of injuries. I don't know that you're going to be able to get a starter and 2 relievers. There's a lot of teams in it. It's different when there are teams that aren't in it. more players become available because teams have already decided we're not making it to the playoffs this season. But because there are a lot of teams in it, that means that a lot of teams are looking for missing pieces to try and put them over the edge. So, you
That's
know,
what happens when you have all these extra playoff spots.
right.
You have all these extra playoff spots, so like three-quarters of the teams still have a chance.
And the Yankees need to play cleaner baseball. They can control what they need to do is control the controllables.
Well, they have a legitimate, good defensive third baseman now that has good range. That takes some of the pressure off of Volpe. Instead of him feeling he has to get everything, now he can just play his position.
I'll be watching
Man did
for
win
the
a Gold
remainder of the
Glove two
season,
years ago.
and he hasn't been the same since.
Well, I'll be talking to him on this weekend.
I'll be watching over this next few months of the season. The window is slowly shutting on my man Anthony Volpe,
No,
as far as I'm concerned.
lay off
Okay,
the guy. He's
all
23
right.
years old.
As
He's
far
a
as I'm
baby.
concerned, the window is slowly closing.
Lay off of him.
All right. So, Dad, you said you're going to Miami this weekend. Anything else that you're looking forward to coming up?
Yeah, college football season starts in 5 weeks? In 4 weeks. I'm down here in the heart of college football, Swebb.
Now, we are midway through the summer. We'll do an end of summer recap at the end of August. I'm looking forward to college football as well. You just never know what you're going to get with NIL and lots of players moving around from team to team. But I'm also just looking forward to seeing how the Yankees play. Hopefully, I'm not throwing my remote at the TV after the third error in the game, or after a guy gets thrown out on the base paths. But that's all I can say. I'm looking forward to football. We'll see. I mentioned I'm taking it day by day, starting a new job. So there's a lot of fun things happening here. Before we close things out, do you want to leave people with a dad tip of the week?
Well, before you get to that, we got college football. You got the Knicks. The Knicks didn't look that good in summer league. They did pick up two nice veteran players
Good
to help
point.
their
We
team.
forgot to mention the Knicks. Now, Mike Brown has been named the head coach. We've talked about him having been most recently a head coach of the Sacramento Kings, also as a head coach for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Has been an assistant as well with a bunch of different organizations like the Pacers and the Spurs and the Warriors. He has been a two-time NBA Coach of the Year, once with the Cavs and once with the Kings. The roster looks great. As you mentioned, Jordan Clarkson was signed. So that gives you some legitimate. He scored, I think he averaged about 16 points last season with the Utah Jazz. They also signed Gershon Yubasele.
Have you watched the YouTube
from
on him?
That came from the Sixers. They signed him on a 2-year, $11 million contract. He averaged 11 points per game and about 5 to 6 rebounds per game last year with the Sixers. So they've got some better bench depth than they had last season. They obviously still have everyone else in the starting five, as well as some key reserves in Deuce McBride. I'm curious to see what kind of lineup Mike Brown will go with. I would like to see Josh Hart move out of the starting lineup, come off the bench, be a catalyst, be a spark plug for the team, both offensively and defensively when he comes off the bench. I'd like to see them, depending on who they're playing, I'd like to see them go with Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, and Karl Anthony Towns for the majority of the season, especially when they're playing teams that have some height in the front court. I also wouldn't mind seeing Mike Brown, and we'll see how guys come back into training camp and how they've spent the off season and whether there's more development. But I wouldn't mind them seeing Mike Brown try, guys like Deuce McBride in the lineup.
In what lineup?
In the starting lineup.
Then you have two short guys in your backcourt.
I said it depends on who they're playing, but he adds some defense and he can shoot. So it also depends on how these guys come into training camp. But I think it could be an interesting mix to see Jalen Brunson with Juice McBride playing at the same time, and then you can go OG Anunoby, Mitch, and Josh Hart. I mean, and Karl Anthony Towns, or you go. I probably wouldn't go Deuce McBride, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, and Brunson all in the starting lineup. But I would like to see Jalen Brunson and Deuce McBride play a lot more together this season.
Yeah, that could work out as long as they're not. Yeah,
Because as we talked about and as we saw in the playoffs, Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, they're probably not going to get much better on defense. Like that's not their game, right? And they've been in the league long enough. Like you don't, those aren't things that you can work on in the offseason to come back and all of a sudden be a defensive player of the year. So having someone like a Deuce McBride in the lineup that can give you that like when they were playing against the Detroit Pistons or they're playing against the Pacers and there were some lockdown moments, it was usually Deuce McBride and Carl Anthony, or in Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby who were making that impact. So I wouldn't mind seeing those guys play together. The good thing is with the new coach is you can go with a lot of different lineups throughout the course of the season until you land on the right one. But I think the right one is going to be Josh Hart coming off the bench and Mitchell Robinson going into the starting lineup.
yeah, and they had a few guys on the summer league team. The team didn't do well, win-loss record, but there were a few guys that they could take off of that team and put on their bench. That will, and as long as they keep developing them, the guy McCullough, he was All American at Kansas 2 years ago. Then he hurt his knee the latter part of the senior year. He would have been a first round pick if he hadn't hurt his knee. And then last year he rehabbed. Then he went to the G League and played well. He's a good player and he's 6'6". So he's somebody who can probably come in and give you 10 minutes a game and let Brunson rest for a little bit. Not Brunson, Bridges rest for a little bit.
And you've got Tyler Kolek, who I'd like to see get more minutes. We'll see.
He
But
played
he's
one
a
good
bench
game in
player.
summer league, and then he was real shaky. We'll see.
The thing with the young guys is you don't know how everyone's going to come in uh, into training camp. Like, you hope that every one of these guys is in the gym for hours a day, working on their jump shots, working on their free throws, working on their mechanics, working on their footwork, making sure they're in the best shape of their lives. That's what you hope. You don't know if that's going to happen with some of these younger guys that don't have a ton of NBA
Well, I
experience.
will tell you this: some of these big guys they had on that summer league team that they drafted last year and this year, they can shoot free throws,
And that's a good that's a
and
good place to
and
start.
and they could rebound, and they're very athletic. So you might
So
be able to get one or two of those guys onto the roster and play them 10 minutes a game.
I'm high on the Knicks. I think it didn't matter who was going to be the head coach. It was embarrassing the way things went down in terms of how long it took and not really having a replacement for Tom Thibodeau. But I think with this roster, especially with the addition of Clarkson and Yobasele, you now have anyone could coach this team
Whoa,
if
whoa, whoa,
if
whoa,
they're.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Slow down a little bit. Coaching in basketball is very important. Okay, very important.
Listen, when we start to talk about coaches, though, you've got your top tier coaches, and then you've got a bunch of really good coaches, and then you've got coaches who aren't good and end up getting fired and become perennial assistants, and then they get another shot somewhere at some point. But the coaching, we'd have to do
Okay,
a full episode on analyzing coaches and how
okay.
good they are
Well, if
because I think there's you got like 5 or 6 that are top tier legitimate coaches,
right
and then you've got the rest that are just good coaches
or
to
okay
good or okay.
or not good at all.
Right.
And if that's the case, I'll take the job. They can't even now because they waited so long to get the head coach. They can't even fill out the rest of their coaching staff and team and guys that they're approaching to be assistant coaches are turning them down. Prigioni turned them down today.
Well, We've got some time there before we really dive into the Knicks. Now, Dad, do you want to leave us with a dad tip of the week?
Yeah. You ever when your track career, I know some of the races. You did high jump. That was your best event. But in high school, you had to run some of the races. 1,500. What's the longest race you ran? Oh, when you were doing cross country in what, ninth grade?
Yep, ninth grade and what was it, 11th grade?
Was that enjoyable? Was that enjoyable?
No.
Did you ever feel like throwing in the towel and just stopping, but you couldn't because you were in the middle of the woods someplace at some park?
During a race, no. During practice, yes.
I remember when you were, I think, a freshman at Miami. I came down for a football game. It was a Thursday night game. Your football team played against Texas A&M, and I was there from the Thursday morning. And you called me and asked me if I wanted to come to practice. And I went and came to your practice, and the coach had you guys running 200-yard sprints. In the, and this is in September, and it's like 95 degrees, 98% humidity, sunny, no water breaks, no bench to sit on, no building to lean up against. Did you feel like throwing in the towel?
Yes.
But you didn't. You persevered. And that's what people have to do when they run into problems. You can't just throw in the towel and give up. Because if you give up, you lost. You got to keep going, Swebb. You got to keep going. You got to, but you don't understand. You don't understand my situation. It doesn't matter. If you have a goal and your goal is out there, you got to keep running, no matter what. Yeah, but everybody's saying that it doesn't matter what anybody says. Keep running. Keep going. Keep going. Don't stop. Yeah, but you don't understand. It's easy for you to say, don't stop. No matter what you're doing. If you're in school and you're trying to get better grades, stay up later and keep studying. If you're playing a sport, keep going. If you're trying to close a sale in business, keep going. Pick up the phone and call another person. Pick up the phone and call another person and another person. Eventually, somebody will buy. Keep going. That's my tip of the week, Swebb.
In the words of the late great coach Jim Valvano, don't give up, don't ever give up.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, that concludes this week's episode of Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. We'll be back towards the end of the summer for
Whoa.
end
What do
of
you
summer
mean
recap.
What do you mean the end of the summer, Swebb? This is only July.
Yeah, we'll be back at the end of the summer.
No, Swebb. We got work to do, Swebb.
All right. So thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow us at Dad and Swebb on Instagram and X, and subscribe on YouTube and Rumble. And we will see you at the end of the summer.
So long.
Thank you for tuning in to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports, the show where we cover all of our favorite sports moments from the past week. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and Rumble, and follow us at Dad and Swebb on Instagram and X. See you next week.